In Hebrew, the word Hebrew means crossing over. Abraham was a Hebrew because he crossed over from polytheism into monotheism. He crossed over in many ways. The Jewish nation started really as a Hebrew nation. We were called Jews only later in the story. I wanted to find in me the place where I could become the one who crosses over, to become a Hebrew. At this point in the story, we decided to go to the passage of Jabbok. This is where Jacob wrestles over his identity. He arrives there from his way back to Canaan from Laban. He arrives there a deceiver, the one who follows the heels of others. And he leaves that place as someone who has wrestled with God and prevailed because he had wrestled with the angel of the Lord. 400 years later, by the way, his descendants arrive at a spot not far from there. And at that point, the one he wrestled with, they already rejected and turned their backs on. But at this point, we wanted a place where I can wrestle with the identity of Naomi, of Mara, of the widow. So we arrived there, and we were each finding a little spot to pray, and I was trying to connect with what the Holy Spirit wants me to do in that place. Which part of the widow do I need to carry in this place and wrestle with it? And I couldn't find anything inside me. It was dry, it was empty. I was sitting on a stone and my head between my hands and just trying to think about the widow. I asked God to help us see him as the lover of our nation and not as the enemy. And as Rania and Gigi were praying and proclaiming, I didn't really hear every word, but they were awakening something in me, and I was thinking, how can I separate myself from my widowhood? If I'm not a widow, who am I? What am I without it? A bride? No. What would be my identity? And I heard them speaking about motherhood, and it brought up something within me, and it connected to what we've seen in Hebrew and at the hotel, and it connected to the other motives God was saying to us throughout the journey so far. And I knew I need to make a decision here. So I kept sitting there thinking, can I make that decision? Can I let go of the widowhood of Naomi? Can she be a mama? I realized that in Hebrew, these two words, mother, nation, are derived from the same root, ummah, em. Can we become a nation who is a mama? And I said yes. Yes, I can do that. By the time the sun was setting, I decided to cross over into our identity as a nation that crosses over, because that's the meaning of this word, being a Hebrew. As I was doing that, I could hear Rania proclaiming Isaiah 54 at the back. We will not remember the reproach of our widowhood anymore.
Do not fear, for your shame is no more. Do not be embarrassed, for you will not be disgraced. You will forget the inadequacy you felt in your youth, and will no longer remember the shame of your widowhood. For your Maker is your husband. His name is Yahweh, commander of angel armies. Your kinsman, Redeemer, is the Holy One of Israel. He has the title, Mighty God of all the earth. In a surge of anger for just the briefest moment, I hid my face from you, but with everlasting kindness, I will show you my cherishing love, says Yahweh, your kinsman Redeemer.
This was such an important and deep moment for Orna, and Gigi heard from the Lord at that moment and began to speak. The Jabbok River is a place of transformation. It's the place where Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And for Orna, this is the place where she transforms and transitions out of her widowhood into her motherhood. Gigi said a significant statement at that point, and she continued and said, being a widow will not make a significant change in any nation, but being a mother will. And what Orna was going through was for the nation of Israel. It was for the entire people who God had created.
Yes, I remember that. I remember her calling me Mama Naomi. That's what woke me up. Mama Naomi, Jordan needs you. Jordan needs the comfort and healing that you carry. Comfort Jordan.